I can make a book out of that. Today I'm making a book out of an old pair of jeans. Denim is great for journals because it's on the thicker side. Like leather, a lot of denim will outlast the garment, so even though areas like the knees or the crotch or seams may run down, there's a lot of good material still left on a pair of jeans. Jeans also become soft as they age, which is great for a book because it is meant to be handled. To start this journal, I'm cutting the leg to make the base of my cover, measuring about 16 inches in length and 8.5 inches in height. Then I measure it against the text block. For this, I'm using cardstock that had been pre-folded and punched. I end up switching out the white cardstock for some blue cardstock a little bit later. Because this journal will be softcover, it will need something to keep it closed while it's not in use. I decided to use the waistband from the jeans. Cutting through all the seams at the waistband took some muscle. I made sure I had enough of the waistband to go around the book with some extra for the buttonhole. Then I measure it to the length of the cover and cut the excess. I use my heavy-duty sewing machine with some gold thread like what was used in the jeans to reattach the belt loops I'd cut and attach the waistband to the middle of the book. Then I trimmed all the little threads sticking out everywhere. There were a lot. Measured the cover against the text block again to determine where the button would go. Then I searched my button collection until I found one that was the right size and aesthetic. When I find a button that I like, I use the same thread that I used to sew on the waistband to sew on the button. Sewing buttons is not my favorite thing. After checking to make sure that everything still fits, I can add the lining. I used iron-on adhesive to add some of this plaid cotton fabric that I thought complemented the denim. I then sewed the edges with my sewing machine to prevent fraying. This is when I decided to use the blue cardstock. All my folios are pre-folded and pre-punched. The white paper had holes punched so that I would have had to sew through the waistband. Not only would that have been difficult, it would have also looked pretty wonky. For this journal, and all softcover journals I make, I use a long stitch to find the book. I like long stitch because it lies pretty flat and leaves enough room in the pages to glue or tape in pictures and memorabilia. I use my ruler to measure out 1/2 centimeter marks, and I use an awl to punch the holes. Pre-punching holes isn't as necessary when working with fabric, but because I usually use leather, it's all part of my process. Then I measure out my thread. It is 1 height of the book for every signature plus a bit extra. I have 6 signatures in this book. I use cotton thread so it needs to be waxed to increase the strength and lube it up. To do this, I run it through a block of beeswax. Managed to give myself itty-bitty rope burn while doing this. Then comes the sewing. Each signature or stack of folded papers is sewn directly to the cover. This allows the book to be much more flexible and, in my opinion, durable than a factory-made book. The pages move with the spine so you don't have cracking in the spine and there's no adhesive so pages don't get loose and fall out. This takes the bulk of the time when bookbinding, but I find it pretty relaxing and it's something I can usually do while sitting on the couch and catching up on Netflix. When I finally get to the last signature, I double knot the thread and cut off the excess. This is the last step in making a book out of an old pair of pants, and it's time to look it over. This book and others like it are in my Etsy shop, Finds and Binds. I'll put the link in the description so you can check it out. All my books are made of reclaimed materials. What do you think I should make a book from next? Thanks for watching and happy binding!